Imagine this, you're on a dating app and you see a guy. His bio says something like he's looking for a traditional woman, must not have kids, under 30, a virgin, no tattoos, and all the other conservative BS. Now, how many women would swipe right on that? Clearly, not a lot. To combat this problem, men start doing this thing called woke fishing. Let's talk about that. Warning, listening to us
might radicalize you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Unholy Feminists with me, Kath, and Gail. Hi, Gail.
Hi everyone. Hi Kat. How
are
you doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm good. I almost had a nip slip.
Oh.
Because my top is so tiny today.
I mean, in the camera, I can only see a little bit of, like, a little below your armpit, so I can't see how tiny your top is.
Yeah. I'm hiding it because the boobies are. The boobies are out today.
Love that. It's perfect. They are perfect. But yeah, how's
everything?
Everything's good. We're close to the holidays, so I feel like I'm winding down finally. It's been a long year. How are things on your end?
Yeah.
Are you taking a vacation?
Same. Tomorrow is like vacation. No, I'm African. I can't afford that. But tomorrow is like my last day of work officially. So I'm so looking forward to the break. I want to have the dirtiest December. Maybe pop out with a man who is going to be my man just till the year ends.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm back to my usual settings. So yeah, I didn't really do a lot of fun things this year, and so I plan to do a lot of fun things in December. I'm going to try so many new things. I'm going to go to so many new places. So I'm excited for the holidays. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. You deserve all of that. I know it's been a tough year. So yeah, we used to work together. That's so sad to say, but we used to work together. So I know what kind of year you've had because I was in the same
We've had yes.
But yeah, I'm so happy for you. You deserve it. And it's the end of the year, celebrate a little before 2026 and whatever BS is gonna come hit us right in the face.
It's bringing, yeah, because it's going to bring some BS. I just know it. What about you? Do you have any plans with your man?
No, I don't think I'm gonna be doing anything. I'm gonna be winding down because we did go to Vietnam early this month to see a ballet, and I think that's about all of my traveling planned. I'm gonna be celebrating 2 Christmases, essentially, one with my best friend, and then the other one with my mom and with Chris and with my dogs and all of that, because my
That's
friend,
cute.
she said that she's too socially anxious to meet him. So she's like, I'll meet him next year. I'm not ready to meet someone new yet. So yeah, that's why I have to do 2 Christmases. But it is what it is. Looking forward to.
I respect that.
Yeah. But it's okay. It is what it is.
Oh my god, sorry guys. My camera was not set well, so my hand is going to be all over the screen for like a few seconds. But that's okay. I'm too pretty to do any wrong, so I know you understand.
It's okay. I mean, the camera is too intimidated by your sexiness today. All right. Let's get into our topic before we yap for too long. Now, I mentioned woke fishing. Gail, what the F is woke fishing?
So I think a feminist coined that actually somewhere around last year or last 2 years or something. So it's basically when men are performative they act as if they are progressive to get with progressive women, specifically feminists, because they know that if a feminist knows that they have like a backwards thinking mindset, they don't want to get with them. So they perform like progressive men. So suddenly they are into, opinionated women. They're into man hating women. They're into misandrists. They are into like, women who believe in bodily autonomy, women who believe in abortions and contraception, women who use tattoos and piercings as a form of expression, women who are not bound by societal expectations of what a woman should be or what a woman should act like. So they act as if they fuck with all that. Meanwhile, it's just a way for them to get one leg in and then find a way to humble women like that. Basically, that's woke fishing. So they perform as if they are woke, but they're really not. Just a bunch of misogynistic people who are looking for feminists to humble. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you encapsulated the definition of woke fishing perfectly because men are becoming self-aware, a little bit self-aware, but not enough self-aware to the point where they understand
Yeah.
that if they go out there and blast how much they hate women, how much they want to trap women, then clearly a sensible woman with common sense is not gonna want to date them. So they decided what they're going to do is to be performative, like you said, to pretend to be progressive, to sometimes take it so far as pretending to be a feminist. So I have been watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and there was one episode where Mac, one of the characters, he actually went to an abortion rally and he pretended to be pro-choice in order to meet women there. So some men would go so far as that to actually go to feminist events and they pretend to be feminists as well. Like, oh, they spread all of these feminist talking points so that they can get with
Yeah.
women. So, what is the problem with essentially what is wrong with these performative males? What is going on with them, Gail?
I think I think for me, men who are performative, again, like I said, I feel like at the end of the day, they just want to humble women like that because obviously, so wait, maybe there's a difference, okay, in when they fake it to get into your life, this suddenly becomes like part of their life. It becomes, oh my god, now that I'm actually with this person, now that I'm in this, I'm actually seeing the benefits of feminism. I'm actually seeing the benefits of being like a progressive man. That's different. If you faked it and then you started living it, it's different. But the thing that really bothers me about woke fishers is that a lot of times they're just trying to humble the feminists that they get with. And for a lot of them to, they are just trying to center themselves in feminist spaces because they know very well that as a feminist, one of the things we are continuously working on is the centering and deconstructing men. And I feel like it makes them very angry. It does not sit right with them that you're a woman out there who thinks that, you know what, I can live an amazing life that is not centered on a man. I can live an amazing life that is not like, dependent on how a man treats me or what a man gives me, because society says that my whole life is useless basically if a man is not attached to it. So when they hear things like that, they want to find a way to be in that space where they still feel relevant, because now feminists are not giving them relevance. Because even when we are talking about the centering and deconstructing men, the way we talk about them is not from like a praise point of view. We are not putting men on a pedestal anymore. So they find a way into these spaces so that they can still feel like, yeah, I'm the shit. But I'm sorry, you are actually not the shit. You are so nothing. Because yeah, women, we've woken up. A lot of us have woken up now, and we just do not want to be in that position. What about you? What do you think is wrong with woke fishers and performative allies?
I think there's another point that we also need to talk about as well, which is we're talking about the benefits that these performative male allies are getting, which is access to women's bodies, right? But there's another benefit
Yeah,
to
yeah.
them, which is to get power, to get money, and to get brownie points in a way. Take, for
Mm,
example, Neil
yeah.
Gaiman, right? Neil Gaiman was known for the longest time to be a male ally. He was talking about Me Too, he was talking about trans rights, he was talking about women. He presented this front as this incredible male ally, and then it turned out
Mm,
that he was actually sexually assaulting women. All the allegations started coming out. That's when you realize that he had built this platform where he performed allyship essentially, and getting popularity, getting money, getting power, building an empire out of all of that. So I do feel like this is
mm,
something that these performative males get as well, because they want to have this, they want to present this front as being progressive, as being woke, to have
yeah,
access to
yeah,
the
bro.
or the leftist crowd. So that's another thing that
Mm,
they are getting out of this, when in fact, when the tide turns and we see how the world is becoming a little bit more conservative, these men become grifters,
mm,
right? They change their political
yeah.
stance because now they see where the money is taking them. And they see that, oh, if you're a MAGA now, then clearly you're making more money, you have a bigger platform. Then they just switch like that. So, how
True.
can we tell when a male ally is being performative? How can we tell?
I feel like personally, I'm very jaded about
Mm,
male allies because I'm always of the stance that no matter what, a man is never going to understand my lived experience as a woman.
mm-hmm,
A man is never going to get that. So I'm very biased when it comes to male allies. I always take everything they say with like a grain of doubt, that there's always like this niggling, like why is this person in this space, how is this man benefiting from being supportive of us as women. There's always, it's always at the back of my mind. But I feel like some things that are very important for you to be able to identify an ally who is performative is their circle of friends, the
mm-hmm,
people they surround themselves with.
mm-hmm,
Because if you're always online, if you have a dedicated platform where you're always supporting women's rights and supporting women's issues, but the weekend you're hanging out with a rape apologist, the weekend you're hanging out with a man who recently had sexual assault allegations against them, and maybe because they are someone in a social standing, the case did not go anywhere, so you think that, oh, all the women were lying, or like, you are that kind of person who is always around problematic people who are publicly known to harm women. I'm sorry, I'll look at you weird. I feel like that, for me, that's going to cancel out every other thing you think that you are doing for women, because that's not supportive. That's not very ally of you. That's not feminist of you at all. Secondly, the language they use, are they centering themselves? Is it always about, this is what I do for women, this is what I do for women? Is it are they talking about themselves, or are they talking about the things that are actually happening to women? Are they amplifying the experiences of women? Are they amplifying women's voices, or they just come and sit there and spew things they think they know? It's very important. And the last one for me is, when they say something and you call them out, how do they react to it? Are they defensive because they think that, oh, this is nothing, just because I do all these other things. I did just one thing wrong, so it should be nothing. Are they open to learning? Are they open to unlearning? Because if they are not open to doing all that, then please, they, I they are performative. For me, like that's just it. Do you have any other pointers?
I think challenging them is definitely a very important point because, for example, when you are agreeing with a man, you will see him on his best behavior. But the moment that you start telling him
Yes.
no, the moment that you start challenging him, challenging his stance, challenging his belief, challenging his privilege, that's when you see how a man really is. Like you said, is he going to be defensive? Is he going to listen to you? Is he going to respect your lived experience? Or is he going to try to invalidate your feelings or try to be
Yeah.
argumentative about it? For example, I found in my personal life that when I first started creating content, feminist content, I got a bunch of men saying that, especially white men, coming in and saying that, oh, you're so progressive. It's nice that you talk about gender equality and sex education in a country like Cambodia. More Cambodian women need to be like you. But the moment that I start talking about male privilege and white privilege, calling them out, challenging them, that's when they were like, oh, you're just brainwashed by Western, by white feminism. Why are you like that? So it's very easy to tell when you start challenging their privilege and their position, because then they'd be like, me
Yeah.
having privilege, but I don't have any privilege. And then they start going on and on and on about how they are victimized in society for being a man. That's when you know that they're being performative. Also, look at their relationship with the women in their lives. Do they have any female friends? Or do they only have male friends and the only women that they talk to are women that they are sexually attracted to or romantically interested in? How is their relationship
Involving. Yeah.
with their female relative? How is their relationship with their mother? You can see that, and it's very telling when it's very telling how a man interacts with women in his life that he does not want to sleep with. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think one. Yeah. Sorry, I just had a thought come to me. I want to say it before I forget. One other thing, and it ties into like, men acting as liberals to for sexual favors. If you know a progressive man and he's always trying to order himself, he's always the one saying, "Oh, I'm not like other men," and he usually says it to get you to do certain things like sexual favors or emotional or physical like labor favors just because they think that they are progressive and they are not like other men. I'm sorry, that's iffy for me. That's performative. Because if you really are not like other men, you don't have to be saying this every day. You don't have to open your mouth and then I'm not like other men, I'm not like other men. And then you also would not be putting the burden of emotional and physical labor on me as your friend if you really think you're not like other men. So yeah. Sorry
and
for cutting you off.
it's okay. And the last point is I want to reiterate that some of these men are very good manipulators and very good liars. So they might emulate, they might put out this front as being the perfect male feminist, the perfect male ally, parroting every talking point that you can think of, basically saying things that they think you want to hear. So if you ever end up in a relationship with a performative male ally and then you find out 6 months later or a year later that he's actually a red pill man, don't blame yourself for it, because these men are
Yeah.
exactly that. They're performative. They put out, they act, they lie, they manipulate. So it is not your fault if you end up in a relationship with men like that. It's definitely, I do not want to blame women who end up in situations like that. Like, oh, why didn't you look for
Yeah.
signs? Didn't you know better? Couldn't you read the signs? What red flags you ignore? I don't want to end up blaming victims, so to speak, like that. Anything else you want to
I
add?
perfectly agree. No, I think we covered it all. I perfectly agree with you.
All right, next question is, can men actually be feminist?
Again, I'm very biased, but I also think it's a bit of a nuanced question and might have a nuanced answer. but I think the most I'll give men is that he's a male ally. I do
Mm,
not believe in male feminism. I don't, because again, feminism is rooted in women's lived experiences and women's lived oppression. And yes, as intersectional feminists, it transcends beyond like what we as women experience. But at the end of the day, men are still our oppressors. Men are oppressors. Men are oppressors of like bisexual people, of trans people, of gay people, of like literally of children. Like men are usually like the main oppressors everywhere. So I do not think they can understand the capacity of our lived oppression. However, I do believe they can be allies, they can believe in, they can support and work towards like our collective feminist goals without claiming ownership of the feminist tag itself. Like if you get angry as a man because I'm saying that as a man you can't be a feminist, I feel like you need to go and sit in the corner and check yourself. But like also on the flip side, if a man can understand that, you know, if they can understand that for them to be a feminist, an actual male feminist, they need to like give up some of the power they have as men, some of the benefits they have in society, then maybe we can have this conversation. And yeah, not feel like just because they are male feminists they have like moral superiority or they can do better, like that kind of but basically I do not believe in real feminists. I think you're an ally at best. What about you?
I mean, I kind of agree. I feel like men can be male allies at best, but I feel some type of way about calling men, cishet men, feminists. However, I also can see an argument against that, or where people would say, what do you mean by a woman's lived experience? For example, if it's a person who
True.
is assigned female at birth, and they are a trans man, would you consider them to have a female lived experience, a lived experience as a woman?
Experience, that's true.
Exactly. Could they be a feminist if they are a trans man? Or what about a trans woman who was assigned male at birth? Would you consider them to have a woman's lived experience since they were assigned male at birth? So would they
Yeah.
be considered to be a feminist as well, or are we gatekeeping feminism only for cishet women, right? So I feel like it can open a whole
True.
can of worm when it comes to this. But I would just say that when it comes to cishet men, I think at best they should just be male allies and leave the
Allies.
feminist space for marginalized people and gender non-conforming people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next point is, how can men actually be good allies? Shut up.
Stop talking.
Yeah, shut up.
Exactly. Shut up. Stop talking. Listen. Listen to women. Actually, like listen to women. So I I posted something on my Snapchat like a while ago talking about how men can be better because yeah, there are lots of misogynistic men on my Snap, and I was talking about how men can be better and all that, and I did mention, however, so in as much as I would love for men to start listening to women to be better, I don't know if we are at that point where a lot of men are actually open to that. So I always also say, if you think that you can't or you don't want to learn from a woman, which already is problematic, there are still a lot of progressive men out there creating like amazing content. There are a lot of progressive men out there who are putting out like a lot of insightful things on how you can be um a progressive man, how you can be a better man who treats women like people who matter, who treats women like human beings. So Don't just go around listening to any kind of podcast. Like, the podcast bros are going to take you on like a red pill path. That's not where you want to be. If you are ready and willing to learn, there are so many accounts on social media that you can get a lot of knowledge from. But listen to women. I feel like that's literally the baseline. Just listen to women and don't interrupt when women are talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen to their experiences and how they want you to treat them. That's literally like the baseline. That should be something that every man who claims is a good ally should be able to. And secondly, you should challenge the men in your lives, because real allyship does not just begin or end in a question or an answer that you had to a question. It does not end when you are not around women. It transcends to like your group chats where your friends are making snide and sexist remarks about women's bodies and all that. It transcends to like the locker room jokes when you're playing sports with your guys, some of the jokes they make about how, like, oh, I cracked this girl, I cracked this woman, like things like that. You need to call it out. You need to call out your friends. Do not blindly support your sexist friend just because you think that, or they'll do, boys are boys, they'll do whatever they want to do. And stop, take accountability, stop being so defensive, honestly. Because again, you really cannot understand how it feels like to live as us. So when you say something that is problematic or that's wrong and a woman is trying to draw your attention to it, your first reaction is not to act like you're a man and you know everything. Well, you do not fucking know everything. Listen, take accountability and stop being so defensive. What about you?
Yeah, I think that was perfectly said. So, to sum it up, basically, is one, when women are speaking, just shut up and listen to her. And two, when
Mm,
women are not speaking, you use your privilege, you amplify her voice, amplify what she has been saying, what they have been saying, what we have been saying. I would also say that men, especially cishet men, you need to understand your privilege and you need to use your privilege, because men
mm,
inherently, just being born as who they are born with privilege. And if they don't use that privilege, just simply not doing anything is not enough. You need to use your privilege in order to help marginalized people, in order to help support women.
yeah,
So, for example, we know how men are more likely to be in leadership position, right? So if you as a
yeah,
man ends up in a leadership position, use that privilege to, for example, create rules or create some policy in your company in order to accommodate women in your workplace, like creating menstrual leave, for example, be accommodating, daycare, all that kind of stuff. And when you are, for example, if you're in recruitment, then you need to also be mindful of female applicants or of marginalized applicants, right? So using your privilege as a man in order to open the door also for women and for marginalized people as well, rather than just saying that, oh, I'm not doing anything bad and that's about it. No, and what you said was a really good point, is that talking to other men as well, because that's another privilege that you have, is that your words somehow weigh more than our words, especially as women of color,
yeah,
right? So amplify our voice and talk to your bros about it, call them out, challenge them, be a good ally. And lastly, I would just say that surround yourself with empowered women. So it doesn't have to be
yeah,
literally surround yourself with them, but check the literature, the media that you consume. Read books that are written by women. Watch media that was created by women. Um, I feel like when you are consuming this type of media, you will get more insight into women. You will get more insight into feminism. Like if you go and read The Bell Jar, for example, or Toni Morrison, or The Second Sex, you will get more understanding of feminism. You will get more understanding of women, and this is how you learn from women. So these are definitely some tips. It's not easy being a male, being an ally. It's not easy. It's just like how I, for example, try to look into things like talking about race, talking about LGBTIQ plus, because I know that I don't have lived experience of that, which is why I look into it. I research. I listen to marginalized people from those communities, just the same way men should do that to be good allies as well. All right. Anything else you want to add, Gail, or it's going to be quite a short episode?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a short episode. I think that's everything from me. So
Mm,
in summary, I do not believe in male feminists, but I do believe in male allies, and I am hoping we can have more male allies because I think it will make everything that we as feminists are looking forward to easier to access
mm-hmm,
and quicker to come by if we could get a lot of male allies in our corner because yeah, we are working against a system where we even need to have male allies to get to a certain point. But now, with the way the system is set up, it's rigged against us. So we need them to get to a point where we don't need them anymore. So,
mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm looking forward to more male allies. I think the world would generally be a better place if we had more male allies. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. My last word is that it's gonna be a journey. No one expects, we don't expect you to be, and this is speaking to the men, we don't expect you to be perfect male allies. It's gonna be a journey. It's just
Mm.
like how I learned about feminism. I wasn't born a feminist. I didn't one day
Yeah.
snapped and became the perfect feminist. I'm still learning. And the same way, men who want to be, and I believe all men should want to be male allies. It's a journey for you too. It's about learning, but it's about unlearning as well. It's about being open minded. So if you say something problematic, or if you say something that a woman corrects you and say, you know what, you shouldn't be saying that because that's kind of problematic, or that is oppressive, or in any shape or form at all, listen to her, listen to us rather than being defensive about it. Keeping an open mind and be willing to be wrong and unlearn and apologize. That's going to be very, very important for your journey as well. And I don't know, maybe we can end this year with a little bit optimism and say that maybe 2026 will be a good year for the men, because 2025 has not been a good year for the men in terms of their attitude, and that's why we have the male loneliness
Yeah.
epidemic. But yeah, all right. So thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Do all the good things. You can also find us on
Yes.
all podcast apps, and check out our social media as well. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.